Back to bowling with Brunswick. Bowling is sold on Brunswick worldwide.
And game two, welcome back tonight. Andrea Mirschel of Germany. And the victor of the last game, Franziska Hugin from Basel in Switzerland. Andrea Mirschel, German team champion in 1996 and 97. And not off to the best of starts either. Game average of 198.3 per game in 1996. Her average 1997, a huge 200. And 8 plus the spare goes. Hugin was well into her stride at the back end of the last game against the young Danish girl. And she continues with an opening strike. Andrea Mirschel, one of the pre-tournament favourites here. She's under immediate pressure. 2 strikes to open with against an 8 and a spare, and you don't get much better in the way of starts than that. Really nice free-flowing action. She's been playing the game for 10 years, Andrea Mirschel. She's a teacher by profession, and again, 8 down and needing to find some inspiration from somewhere quick before that lead opens up. Again, just coming in too central. She cleans up nicely, 8 and a spare. So she's just about hanging in the early stages. And a rather thoughtful look on the face of Franziska Hugin. The cheers go up and the smile appears for the first clean strike of the night. And with a 200 average, she was smiling on her way back to a seat. Certainly won't be a smile going through her mind from the opening shots. Now Hugin, remember, opened with 2 strikes. And adds another one. Often it's the case when you get to these stepladder finals, the victors from 5 and 4, or from the earlier stages, tend to have a habit of getting into the swing of things a lot quicker, and she can't quite believe the start she's making here. That's 4 in a row. Virgin bowling streak. A double is 2, a turkey's 3, and she's just hit a 4-bagger. And that ball is almost like on radar, because she's not strayed from that position. And Mirschel needs some results, and quickly. That's better. There you go. Hugin leads by 22 points. And they're strike equal after theirs. she lands her first turkey of the night. 3 in a row for Mirschel. Second in the Masters back in 1997. Apart from that, it was a fairly productive year. She's just gone off the rails rather there. Almost like the very first game where she started off, and 6-3, and it's the same score as in the first game, and this could be the key frame of this match, or this game. If Mirschel could strike, she could gain the lead for the first time. Now is not the time to be losing it, as they say. Nine and a spare. Mirschel strikes, she goes into the lead, and she does for the first time. And she is 14 in the lead. And the first time she's had the lead in this game. And it's really tight here. Oh, just failed once again. She needs the spare. She really does need this spare, because again it would open up the door and allow Franziska Hugin in. And she takes it. Staying mentally calm at the right moment. And that's a return to the form of earlier in the match. And that still keeps her now around 12 points behind. Perfect response. She got a double, and she's almost back on terms here. And Mirschel has the advantage. That's good play, very good play. Almost a look of apprehension on the face there. And she's got a double as well, so she remains in the lead. And consider she is about 16 points down, Hugin, at this stage. Hugin did well to come back after that slight loss of form in the middle of the frame. But she's back on track again here. And this game looks like, oh, I was just going to say, it looks like it could be going for the last. But that is not what she needed. And indeed, we're right. Hugin is 16 points down. And she's got to strike twice and hope at least for a mistake from Andrea Mirschel. And she's keeping the pressure on. She needs another one. This, I think, strikes. It's going to keep the game open, and it does. She's now got 230. Mirschel has to get 10 or play a strike, otherwise it's Hugin in the next round. Again, almost a breathless silence over the arena. And again, what a way to finish. The pressure now is really all back on Andrea Mirschel. And this, under normal circumstances, would have the look of a winning finish. She just dropped agonizingly in the middle sections of this frame, and it could cost her. A round of applause, but still it will need a mistake. As we said, Mirschel will be looking to get 10 or play a strike. There you go, confirmation strike or spare to win. Well, there's your answer. And just for good measure, underlined with a large black pen, and finally to the full stop at the end. The final ball will go, final pin will go. Confident finish from Andrea Mirschel. 16 points, 246 to 230, but that was a very high-scoring game. Hugin really laid down the challenge at the end with those two strikes. But it's the German, Andrea Mirschel, that goes through. And welcome back. Game number 3 gets underway. Andrea Mirschel of Germany against Jutta Koulen of Germany also. And Mirschel begins with a strike. And Jutta Koulen, the oldest competitor in the competition tonight, 47 years of age. competed in the World Team Cup back in 1996 in Calgary in Canada. And Koulen also opens with a strike. (1997) average 1,254 pins, average 209 per game against Andrea Mirschel's 97 game average of 200. So there's quite a substantial difference overall. Well, 9 and a spare coming into the second frame. 1 remaining. Just look at that. Everything has stopped and they're just and tidied away nicely. And a reasonable start for Jutta Koulen. She's getting the required amount of power and pace behind the ball. And she's looking good at the moment, Mirschel. Gets a double. At the second and third. And Koulen is back with a strike of her own, and after the third bowl, the scores, Mirschel leads by 20 points. Not as much of a lead as she would have liked to have opened up, but a bit more than perhaps Koulen would want to be behind. And Koulen takes the double. And it goes down, nearly didn't, very nearly stayed there. And the final and Mirschel with a 4th in a row. Just look at that, nearly stayed there. Oh, well, that was a better ball initially, it seemed, than the previous one, but there was no luck in the falling pins this time. And both of these players know each other well. They play together in the German national team. Both come from Frankfurt. Jutta now plays for Düsseldorf in the German Bundesliga. And a spare, so after a 4-bagger, she's lost the momentum a little, and a 9 and a spare will give some confidence to Koulen. And Koulen does it as well. She's now completed Turkey, that's 3 in a row. on the edge from Koulen again, just as the pin's falling. No luck for her there. Looks like it's 9 and a spare. Just straight off the centre. No mistake with the final one. And the tension is really beginning to mount again here. Just as we said at the beginning, no shocks in the quality of no shocks in the people competing in this final stage. And a real tough opening finale. There you go. Mirschel leads by 10 points only. She's still there. And Koulen is slowly closing the gap, but she's going to have to do without the 9 and spares. She needs to go all out for strikes here, and that's another good ball from Mirschel. Extends the lead to 20 points with that strike. Jutta Koulen at the 7th and 8th frame. That's better. Quick clap of the hands and back to work. And you can't ask for better than this. 2 strikes keeps the chance of a win open. And we are talking single-figure pointage here of how close this is now, as Mirschel gets ready and goes in with a strike. And she's kept the same level of consistency almost from her opening match tonight. Very rarely has she strayed. Oh, 9 down. It's going to be 9 and a spare. Ooh, it was going awfully close. Awfully close. 9 and a spare at the 9th frame. Jutta Koulen is in need, desperate need of a strike here. And gets it. A sure sign of nerves, just one of relief. There are the scores. Now she's got the chance to kick Andrea Mirschel out of the game if she strikes again, if she gets another strike. Koulen would score 259, and Mirschel, again we're adding this up very quickly here, Mirschel could only reach 258. Yeah, there you go, it's the most dramatic of finishes here. Now can she get it? She does! Just airing the hands. Koulen, strike once, 9 and a spare, meaning 248 in total. Mirschel now has to strike. After this, here Mirschel will have to strike twice. There's the first one. One more to go. Needs it all down and gets the second one. Now she needs just one pin. Well, this has been a fantastic game, really has. What a time to pull a double out, and just the one pin. And the formality is complete, and a total of 258 against 248. A fantastic game played in a great spirit between these two good friends, but it's Mirschel who goes on. And welcome back to the indoor arena in Frankfurt for what is turning out to be a great night's competition here in the first final of the ladies' golden ball. Lunden from Finland. She's taken a year's break after the birth of her daughter, but she's come back into form. But it was still not expected that she would find her way through to the final so early on. Her last recorded average, 214 per game. Team world champion back in 1995 in the Reno, USA. And Mirschel, 9 to begin with. As we're saying, Lunden, team European Cup winner in 96, Nordic champion, numerous national titles, and she's back to some form so early on after that lengthy break. 9 and a 1 for Andrea Mirschel of Germany. And a strike. And the quality of her play, the gameplay this evening has certainly not done her reputation any harm whatsoever. There's the coach, here's the Finn, and just look at the difference in power that comes behind when she's bowling. Another strike for Lunden. It's the power. Literally every one of those pins is taking off into the air. It's not just a question of falling down when she bowls. Look at this. Bang. Well, bang apart from 9 this time. And 9 at the spare. And she's certainly looking keen, it has to be said. dispatching that ball very quickly indeed, but it's the power that is impressive now. Third frame with Mirschel. And onward she goes. And she's a double. There's the score. 49 plays 20. And that's a good lead. It's rocking, but it's staying. 9 and a spare to go down in the fourth frame. Here it is. This is the time when you just need that little extra bit of power just to give it the momentum. That's probably the only criticism of what's been an impressive night's work so far from Mirschel, is that she's got the lines right, but sometimes she just lacks a bit of power, whereas this girl doesn't. She could have done without that. 7. She just needs to calm down a little bit here. Sufficiently enough to clear up. That's better. And a smile of relief appears across the Finn's face. Because again, it's pretty tight here. She's way off there, and she knows it. 7 with 3 remaining. Just really when she needed a strike to just keep things level. 7 and a spare. That was terrible, and she's momentarily lost it here. 5 down there, and open mouth. She can hardly believe it. Neither can she. Lunden knows this is her chance. She cleared up, but she's lost a chance here. 7 and a spare and a 5 and a spare are not the type of scores you ought to be registering at this stage of the competition. And what she needs is strikes, and there goes one. Another strike for a double as the Finn is beginning to build up a small gap over the German. There you go. just as Mirschel's form begins to take a dip, Lunden's appears to firm. And she needs to strike a few times here herself. And that's better. At the end of the 7th frame. But she needs the type of bowling that took her through the finale of the game just prior, and it stayed up 9, and the spare remains. By no means an easy pin to dispatch that. If you've ever played the game yourself, you'll know exactly what I mean. Mirschel's got to hope there's a mistake here from Lunden. Smiles on the face, but it's not really done enough to secure safe passage to victory just yet. She'll need to strike at the 9th and the 10th here, and 9 pins only. Takes the 9 and the spare. And there are the scores, 194 to 160, and there is no way that she can get back into the lead from that position. Lunden is already the winner. And if only that had appeared a couple of shots ago. It was what she needed then, not now. Have almost just deserted her just at the last, just when she needed it most. And a spare. And again, the game being played in a very good spirit here tonight. There's still play left, though. Lunden, already the winner, has to finish the game. Well, she's taken a year out after the birth of her child, and the 30-year-old was the undisputed #1 beforehand, and they thought that perhaps she'd allow them a little more time to get used to the feeling of playing at the top of the world, but she's back now. And in her first real tournament, she's won at about 75 to 85% of normal playing power. There you go. Total 234 points from Lunden, 230 from Mirschel, and tiredness just began to tell in the end from Mirschel. Third game in a row, and she'd done really well in order to get to the final, but it was Lunden's night, and that's ominous. We'll be back again, tour stop number 2 at Ludwigshafen in 4 weeks' time. From me, though, a very good night.
The Golden Bowling Ball Brunswick Tour was presented by Brunswick. Bowling is sold on Brunswick worldwide.